Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Christine Pearson, Professor of Global Leadership at Thunderbird and ASU, and that's my LinkedIn connection down there on the bottom in case this is the very first video that you have looked at from the Managing People from a Global Perspective course. I welcome you to week one. I hope you will take the time to look at the pre-work for week one as well, because I think it could have great benefit for you not only in the course but also beyond that. But here right now, my goal is to talk to you about organizational behavior today, which is the topic of week one of Managing People from a Global Perspective. The driving question for this week is how is OB, which stands for organizational behavior in the case of our course, how is organizational behavior changing? And behind that or underneath that is the idea, what is the latest thinking that's going on about how best to compete through people? So regardless of what your connection is, if you in fact are interacting in any way with people, you will learn a great deal from this course that will be helpful to you in terms of motivating their behavior in a direction that you see fit, helping them make changes, making your own changes, and so forth. So again, this first week, we're going to look at how things are different today in regard to leading people and competing through people than they have been in the past. Another high level of looking at this is the idea of leading in the VUCA world, and I won't even get into what that acronym stands for. I talk about it at length in the full-length video for week one, the Introduction to Organizational Behavior video, so you can look at it there and figure out what that acronym stands for. Also, this week we're going to talk about emerging organizational behavior challenges, both inside and outside organizations. And so the VUCA world piece relates to the photo down on the bottom and taking a very different perspective, a much broader perspective is what I read as implication with that photo, to thrive and even survive in some cases in the VUCA world, in the world that we're dealing with now in the global business arena. And even if you're in a domestic business arena, chances are challenges are different and greater than they have been in the past. The graphic up in the right-hand side there of the triangle and the circles, that's intended to depict changes in leadership that we're seeing within organizations. And again, I will leave it to you to go to the full-length video on this topic of week one to understand fully what that stands for. The bottom one, sorry I didn't realize that was going to be a slow reveal, is all about globalization. And certainly at this point I hope you've done enough searching around the course page and so forth to understand that anything Thunderbird comes at you from a global perspective. So we'll be talking about that much more throughout the course. In regard to the so what question, I'm very big on application. So these are some things that seem to surface for me in terms of the work of the week ahead, this first week. How do these changes affect you, the sorts of challenges inside and outside organizations, within the organization as well as the greater business environment? How do these changes affect you and your organization? What's happening right now, today? What's looking different for you today than it was a year ago, 5 years ago? And what's the forecast for tomorrow within your industry, within your organization, within your geographic setting? You know, things are changing everywhere around the world and certainly changing dramatically in terms of how business is done. The second point there, how can you optimize the people component of work? This course is all about people, managing people from a global perspective. So that becomes an essential question for every one of the lessons in the course. The last question there, what's the latest thinking about improving today's organizations? I will be talking through some of that with you through the videos, and also you'll be doing some readings from some very recent and relevant research and thinking that is taking place in looking at what organizations are doing differently today. In terms of thinking about the focus you might take, as you look at the materials, as you watch the videos, what I would urge you to think about from a broad perspective is which seem to be the best ideas for addressing these opportunities and challenges that are coming up today. And again, I'm going to go into a fair amount of detail about the opportunities and challenges in the full-length video for week 1. The second point here, how does your organization measure up? You will be able to look at some written materials, and I'll talk about them in the videos as well, in terms of what the best organizations are doing. You also will likely have some self-assessments available to you to think about how well is your organization doing in the grand scheme of doing business in a global, expansive, challenging, VUCA-type environment these days. And certainly the 2 questions that can help drive your thinking there. What's going really well in your organization and what's missing? And as you think about your place in the organization, your place today, your desired future placement and so forth, you might keep that in mind as well. So I look forward to taking this journey with you. Thanks.